Shabbos Daf Yud Gimel. We are hunkered down here in quarantine in Ramat Bet Shemesh, but nothing's going to stop us. We have Torah. The Mishnah tells us that a Bal Korah who has to lane the following morning could walk over to the children that are reading from the Torah to the candlelight and peek inside. The pshat is that he's only looking for Rashi Prakim, for the beginning of the parak, and that will remind him and make it easier the following day. What about the children themselves? How are they reading from the Torah to the candlelight? The answer is either they are only reading Rashi Prakim as well, or since their Rebbe is standing over them, they'll be aware and they won't readjust the flame. Rabbi Nisim Gain says on the side of the Gemara, he says a beautiful pshat, children, they rather the flame go out. They don't want to readjust it. They want to run home. The Mishnah tells us that a Zav should not eat a meal with his Zava wife because he might come to an Avera. But the Mishnah doesn't say anything about a person who's tar should not eat with his wife who's Tameya, because that we don't have to make a Gzeira. People are very makbid on Tuma and Tahara. Another halacha, a person who's a Zav Parush. It's a person who's makbid to eat Chulin b'Tahara. He should not eat together with a Zav who's Amaretz. Abai says the pshat is because the Amaretz might feed him food that Trumsa Meisers weren't taken from it. Rava says the pshat is because we're concerned that later on when this Zav becomes tar, the Amaretz might feed him food that's Tameh. We know the answer to this question, but the Gemara asks, a husband and wife, who the wife is a Nida, can they be in the same bed, fully clothed? And the answer is no. Why? Because the Torah tells us in a pasuk, talks about a Eishes Ish, and right afterwards a Nida. And we say, just like a Eishes Ish, you cannot be in the same bed with her, even though you're both clothed. Rashi says why? Because the Yichud, Taisa says it's just logic. So too, a Nida is also. But the Gemara says perhaps we should bring a Raya from the fact that Basil say it's usher to eat chicken when on the same table there's cheese. And chicken and cheese is only the Rabbanon, nevertheless they say it's usher. But over there the reason is because it's only one person. There's nobody there to remind you. Whereas you're with your wife, she'll remind you. Perhaps you can bring a Raya from two people that are eating on the same table. If they don't know each other, they're allowed to eat even meat and milk. If they do know each other, it's usher. So here's a case of two people that know each other and can remind each other. The answer is, it's different. In our case, since they're both wearing clothing, that's a heker, that's something different, and perhaps it's different and you would be allowed to. What about our Mishnah? We learned a Zav and a Zava should not be able to eat a meal together. And the answer is, there is no heker though. Yes, it's two people, but there's nothing different about them. Rabbi Das, he's mechulk on this whole thing. He says the only Issa D'Oraisa is Gilu Erayis, Tashmish. Everything else, especially if you're wearing clothing, there's not even an Isser D'Rabbanan. The Gemara tells us that when Ula came back from learning from the Beis HaMedrash, he would kiss his sisters on their chest, and some say on their hand. But Ula himself is mechulk on himself, because Ula holds that, just like we say the famous saying, you tell a Nazir, Leich Leich, Amri L'Nazira, Sechar Schar, person who has to abstain from alcohol, from wine, from grapes, you tell him, don't go through the vineyard. Go all the way around because you might come to do an Isser. So too, when it comes to Arayis, the concept of Harchaka. The Gemara tells us an amazing story. Tanan Develio, there's once a Talmud who's a tremendous Talmud Chacham. He learned all day Mishnah, Torah, and he's Mishamish Talmud Chachamim, yet he died at a very early age. His wife was very upset. She took his tefillin and ran around the Beis HaMedrash, and she asked, it says in the pasuk, Torah is your life. It gives you longevity. Why did my husband die? And nobody knew the answer until the Velio told her, let me ask you, how does he treat you when you're in Nida? She said, Chas v'shalom, he doesn't even touch my small finger. But how does he treat you in your Shiva Nekiyim, the second 7 days? And she said, oh, he eats with me and drinks with me, and we sleep bekiruv basar. And he said, if so, he didn't do harchaka. It's a good thing he died. He deserved to die. And Taisus points out that in those days, perhaps, after 7 days of Nida, a woman would go to the mikveh once, and then do Shiva Nakim and go to the mikveh a second time. And he held that since she was tar, and midiraisha she's tar, it's only chomer midarabanan, it's okay. But the Gemara says, Rav Dimi says, they had a very large bed, and there wasn't any cure of basar. And in Eretz Yisrael they answered that what's going on, that she was wearing pants, sort of pants. So there's no cure of basar on the bottom half. We learned in the Mishnah that a person is not allowed to delouse his clothing or read a sefer to the candlelight. And it says that these two halachas are from the 18 halachas that Hananya ben Chizkiah ben Garain said in the attic. What happened was the Talmidim of Bisham got together and Talmidim of Yisrael got together, and there were more Talmidim of Bisham than Yisrael, and they won. And they made 18 Xeris, and those are two of the 18 Xeris. Who's this Hananya ben Chizkiah? He wrote a brisa called Megillas Tainas that goes through the calamities of Klal Yisrael, the Xeris, the terrible Nisim, the terrible tragedies that happened in Klal Yisrael, and then the Nisim, the Geula that happened to Klal Yisrael. And Rabbi Shimon Gamliel says we could also write a sefer like that, but there's so many tsaras and gullahs that Klal Yisrael went through that we're not going to write. Or the pshat is, the Gemara says, that a shaita, a crazy person, can feel pain. He doesn't know that something is wrong. We don't know all the good that HaKadosh Baruch Hu does for us. Or the Gemara says, a person who's alive, who has dead flesh, you could run a knife through it and he won't feel anything. And by the way, the Gemara says, a dead person feels, and he feels just like a worm that goes into his flesh is like a needle into a live person. Chananya also saved for us Sefer Yecheskel. Without him, Chacham wanted to destroy Sefer Yecheskel. There's too many contradictions. And they gave him 300 barrels of oil, and he sat in his attic, and he rectified all the contradictions that are in Sefer Yecheskel. And the Gemara continues, and we're going to learn it in great detail, what the rest of the 18 Xeris are. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And I'll see you tomorrow, Be'ezer Hashem.